So for my project, I decided to do it over the Mexican peso because I did not remember. I did not have the sheet that we were given at the beginning of the semester, and this is what I'm doing it over. Now you can see it, but it's the 10 peso bill. And the first question is who is on the bill? The person on my bill is Emiliano Zapata. It is the Mexican bill, and their currency is run off of pesos rather than dollars, which is the US currency. I chose the 10 peso bill, and this is what Zapata is located on. A 10 Mexican peso is equivalent to 42 cents in US dollars. Although this is obviously a lot less than what a $10 bill is worth from the US, there are still many other countries in Latin America's that currency is way lower, such as Venezuela, whose currency is currently used for things such as craft. Number two is where is he/she from? Emily Zapata was born in Anina, Coelico, Mexico on August 8, 1879. He grew up in a small village in Morelos State. This small village was just about 45 miles south of Mexico City. Zapata was known for having a rough life at home, and for that reason he was orphaned at age 17. He was orphaned off, and he also had to take care of his brothers and sisters, as well as get used to this new environment that he was being brought into. Many people noticed his leadership skills from a young age, and he was involved with local peasant farmers. He helped many of the local peasant farmers and villagers have equal rights, just as everybody else had. Zapata started to branch out and help all other peasant farmers, and not just the ones near him. If anybody did not agree with what he was trying to accomplish, he would forcefully take it and distribute it however he saw fit. Number three is how is this person connected to history and culture? Emiliano Zapata is a major historical figure in terms of Mexico and their culture. He was one of the crucial people with the Mexican Revolution. Zapata was also well known for being a key component in the peasant revolution in the state of Morelos. He was born into this peasant farmer life, so for him to eventually fight for all of them to get equal rights is pretty fitting. Zapata was an ideal Mexican hero in my eyes. He started out with a troubled life as a kid, ultimately getting adopted and having to oversee his brothers and sisters at just 17 years old. Going from being a poor peasant farmer that kept working his way up, he worked his way up all the way into having great leadership skills and winning over the people, and eventually ranked all the way up to an army general. After that, he ultimately found himself as one of Mexico's biggest heroes. He is one of the feel-good stories of turning just about nothing into something. Number four is this person related with a specific time in history? What are the events? Give details about the events. Emiliano Zapata is related to a great historical, if not the most historical event in Mexican history. It is that of the Mexican Revolution. It started in 1910 when Zapata was around 30 years of age. It was when Mexican President Porfirio Diaz's rule was being threatened by that of Francisco Madero. Madero had earlier lost the election to Diaz, but fled the country to gain some power, then ultimately came back to confront Diaz over his presidency. Diaz was known for killing those that opposed his rule, and definitely would be willing to kill somebody that opposed his candidacy. So Madero knew he needed some backup. This is where Zapata ultimately became one of Mexico's greatest heroes. Zapata saw the opportunity and made an alliance with Madero. At the time, Zapata was an army general, and they did not hesitate to use this feature. After a 6-day battle in May 1911, Zapata's army captured Cualcados. This defeat left Diaz's armor weaker than usual. This is when Zapata's forces took over the town. Diaz knew that his options were running limited and decided to flee the country, leaving behind his presidency. These two together ultimately took down one of Mexico's greatest dictators at the time and helped the people get back power of their land. So in turn, Zapata helped bring rights to all of the people in Mexico, which is why he is valued so highly in the Mexican culture today and why they ultimately put him on the peso. What are the differences and similarities about the paper currency from the United States and Latin America? How are they different? I say the similarities between the Latin American bill and the United States bill is more than many would think. Both are made out of a paper-like material that is quite easily to get destroyed, such as ripping or just by getting wet. They are also both colored, although the Mexican bill differs in a way because it has more colors, such as that of red, which is primarily featured, whereas the United States bill is only used as green and lighter shades of white. They also both feature important historical figures for their own respective nations on their bill. Many different types of bills feature different people, but each person on their own country's currency holds a great amount of value for each of their nation. Now, one way in how they differ is the value of each. As I stated earlier, a 10 Mexican peso is only worth about 42 cents in today's world, 42 US dollars cents in today's world. Obviously, this means that a bill for a bill, the United States bill, is valued more highly worldwide. Another way they differ is how they are referred to. In the United States, each bill is referred to as a dollar. So if the bill has a 20 on it, then it is referred to as a $20 bill. And if it has a 10, then it is referred to as a $10 bill, and etc. In Mexico, each bill is referred to as a peso. So if it has a 10 on it, then it is a $10 peso. And this $10 peso is just what happens to feature one of Mexico's greatest heroes, Emiliano Zapata.